Welcome to the Focused and Fearless podcast, the show designed to explore how you can step into powerful self-leadership and stop settling for less in your life, business, health, and wealth. I'm your host, Heather Angel, and as a certified energy practitioner, coach, and online business consultant with over a decade of experience, you can expect expansive, honest, and enlightening conversations about what it really takes to create the changes in your life and business that right now may just feel completely out of reach. Thank you for choosing to invest in yourself by listening to this episode. Without further ado, let's dive in. Let's talk about the fear of failure, because you don't actually fear failure. This is what I am coming to truly believe and see with my clients and within myself. You don't fear failure. I know we all talk about the fear of failure. There's books about it and all that kind of stuff. Feel the fear and do it anyway, and, combat fear and blah, 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 blah. The fact is, you don't fear failure. You fear what will happen if you fail. So 2 things to look at here. This is going to be quite a practical podcast episode. There's things for you to do should you wish to. 2 things to look at here. 1, where are you setting your expectations? How do you know you would have failed? This is a really important question to ask. And I know it's not shiny and glittery and exciting and super positive. It's a bit of a question, like, why does she want me to look at failure? I want you to look at what you're classing as failure, because how the hell do you know if you've succeeded or failed if you don't know what constitutes both of them? So if you've set, let's say you're going to do a launch and you've set the expectation or goal of 10 grand. You're going to do this launch, you're going to make 10 grand. Let's say you do the launch and you make 4 grand. Is that a failure? Or is that a £4,000 success story? Up to you. Completely depends on how you're going to frame it, doesn't it? To me, I'd be like, wow, you made 4 grand in that launch. Awesome. Let's look at it. Let's unpick the data. How did it work? What worked well? Talk to your audience. What did they like? What did they not like? There's so much data in that launch, the lessons you would have learned, and you've made 4 grand. Amazing. Or are you going to be at, well, my expectation was 10 grand. This is a massive failure. I can't do this. I'm never going to launch again. I've been there too. I've experienced both of those. So where is failure and where is success? Because you are the only one stipulating that. All right? So that's the first thing I want you to do. Whenever you're looking at anything, and this doesn't have to be business related, it may be health related. Sadly, and I have recorded an episode with Rachel Peru, which is on the podcast if you want to listen to it, all about body confidence. But sadly, I'm recording this in the summer, and I've had so many conversations with friends who are trying to lose weight so they can be, in inverted commas, beach body ready. I mean, seriously, honestly, if you have a body and you're on a beach, you're beach body ready. Like, you're gorgeous and perfect and amazing exactly as you are. But we live in this world where we still think we need to look a certain way. And should you have a desire to look a certain way, then more power to you. But that is something else that it's really important if you've got a personal aim, and it might be hearing people say, I want to lose 10 pounds before I go on holiday, or, I want to lose this much weight before I, get into my bikini. All right. Okay, fine. Have that as your goal if that's what you want, if that's what you truly desire, and it's from a place of health and loving yourself and all that good stuff. But what if you lost 9 pounds instead of 10? What if you lost 12 pounds instead of 10? Where is success? Where is failure? What if actually you lost 1 pound, but you lost 3 inches off your waist because you've been working out like a crazy lady? Where is success and where is failure? Be clear, because otherwise you have no idea what you're judging yourself against, okay? And when I say judging yourself, I mean judging your results, all right? Always do this from a place of love, please, my darling. So that's the first thing. Get clear on what you perceive to be success and failure in regards to the thing that you're aiming for. The second thing is to look at failure and really dive into it. What will happen? Now you've decided what is classed as a failure. So let's use the 10 grand launch as an example because it's easy for me. 10 grand launch and you make 4 grand. If you decide that's a failure, I want you to really dive into, well, what will happen if I fail? If this launch only brings in 4 grand? If this launch actually brings only in £1,000? What is it that's really troubling you about that? Now, these may be practical real life things. You might be like, crap, I won't be able to pay. I wanted to pay off my credit card bill and I won't be able to. Or I promised my kids that I'd take them on holiday. And if I don't do this launch, if I don't get the money in for this launch, I won't have the money to do that. Okay. These could be very, very practical real life things that you're scared of. They could also be deep rooted emotional things. All right. So are you going to be embarrassed? Would you be embarrassed to say to your friends, your family, your partner, oh, you know, I said I was going to make 10 grand in that launch. Well, yeah, I know I put all that time and effort and energy into it. I made 2 grand. Is that what you're scared of? Would you be embarrassed to say that? Because again, remember, you get to reframe this. You could absolutely have that same conversation and go, oh my God, you know that launch I put loads of time and effort into? I know I said 1 to 10 grand, but actually I got 2 and I'm really happy with that because here's everything I learned. This is what I'm going to do next time. These are the amazing people I have in my program. This is how I'm going to be able to serve them. Okay? What is under the fear of failure for you? So remember, ask yourself the question, if I fail, what will happen? How will you feel? Because as I've said, you are not scared of failure. You are scared of what will happen if you fail. Now, many of these things on your list are likely to be things that I hope you can look at and go, that's not actually true, is it? It's not actually real. That's my ego having a freak out because I don't want to look like a failure. I don't want to be perceived as someone who wasn't able to make that kind of money. I want to be able to be that person who can go out on Instagram and go, hey, I just had a 10 grand launch. Be mindful where those fears are coming from. So write them out. And then once you've got that list, just go through it one by one and be really honest with yourself. You don't have to share this with anyone. You can go through it with your coach if you're working with one. Or, you know, if you do have a really loving, supporting partner, go through it with them. And be really honest. Share the burden if you can. I do really think when we run a business and we're on our own, it's heavy sometimes, really heavy. So, you know, speak to a peer, speak to a mastermind, speak to your coach, speak to a partner if they understand the crazy world of business that you're in and they're willing to support you and encourage you. You know, be open about these fears, because if you don't look at them, if you just try and bury them away, they're going to sabotage the hell out of you. They're going to make, just using this launch as an example, they're going to make the launch really painful because they're going to be there. Oh God, you better do this. Oh, you better show up on Instagram a bit more. Oh, you better send more emails. Do this from this fear place, because you're like, oh my God, I can't fail, because if I fail, this will happen. And I'm telling you now, if you run a launch like that, your audience will feel it. They really will feel it. So it's not going to be anywhere near as successful as you want anyway, because you're going to be coming from this place of please buy from me, because if I fail at this, I'm going to look like a right idiot. Because that's what you're telling yourself. So unpack the fear, gorgeous, because it's not about failure. It's about what you think will happen if you fail. Right. If you want any help with this, or if anything else comes up, let me know. You can always message me on Instagram. I am slowly getting better with LinkedIn, so you can message me over there as well. I love having these conversations with you, and I just want you to be able to create incredible success in your business and lives in any way that lights you up. And if these fears are coming up for you, there are ways of removing them and tackling them and, you know, being really honest with yourself about them. Because there's no shame here. We all have fears, and failure triggers a lot of them. May have to do another, just as I was saying that, I need to do another episode about the fear of success as well, because that's relevant too. Right then, my gorgeous one. I hope that helped. Whatever you are working towards that's giving you those butterflies in your stomach, making you feel a little bit scared, I hope that this process will help you move forward with more ease, grace, and patience with yourself. Lots of love, gorgeous, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me today, and remember, any resources and links mentioned in this episode can be found in the show notes. If you're enjoying this podcast, I would be so grateful if you would kindly share, subscribe, and leave a positive review so that the podcast can help and reach as many people as possible. Thank you again for listening. Have a gorgeous day, and I'll see you in the next episode.